What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to another Division 2 video. If you happen to be new to the channel or you're just enjoying the content, then be sure to ground and pound that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on post notifications, that way you know each and every time a new video is uploaded or a stream goes live. Just reach up there, trigger that bell, and you'll never miss a notification. But anyways, hopping into this juicy topic is not one that I, do or take lightly. It's not really my cup of tea. I try to look at everything that the cup is half full and not half empty, optimistic, positive. I consistently try to do that. But a wise man once said, if you don't learn from your past, then you're going to be doomed to repeat history. Or something along those lines. I mean, they may not be exact, and I just kind of put them a little... But anyway, the basic of it is, if you don't learn from the history of your past, you're doomed to repeat it. And that is where we are at today. Now, for all those that go all the way back to New York when Division 1 came, between its conception up until 3 years later, it was a consistent roller coaster. We had exploit after exploit, bug after bug, UI bugs, and, teleporting NPCs shooting you through containers, and all you see is like their arm. And then, we have the balancing issues where they couldn't, more or less balance the initial game, but they said they was going to get to it. And then they just, kept adding content because that's where, the mob mentality came in. Well, we want more stuff. We want to be able to do more stuff. We want more content. And so, just like before, we're repeating our history. Now, if you don't recall, they said that they learned from their mistakes. But since history is repeating itself, did they actually learn from their mistakes? Because it doesn't seem that way. They are continuously making the same thing. And a lot of us, we try to remain optimistic and, positive vibes, thoughts, the cup is half full, but sometimes enough is enough and you just cannot turn a blind eye toward it. The game is basically just like Division 1. It is a bright and shiny showroom car. Looking at it and hearing someone describe it, it's just so immaculate, so beautiful. You just can't wait to dive into it. And just like the game before, you hop into that nice shiny car, you turn the key, and all you hear is a motor knocking, and you realize, well, this is not going to get too far. And then, of course, the dealer comes rushing. Oh, don't worry. This is just, a little minor hiccup here. We're going to hop right into it and get to all those fixes. And then, you don't hear from them for, a moment. And then they come flying back over. Hey, but did you know that we have this nice new package that we can include with it and add on to it at no additional charge? Thus, free content, right? Sound familiar? And with the ongoing bugs, exploit, glitches, we just got through the armor glitch. Now there's an armor kit exploit. Then we have all these balancing issues and the bullet registration issues. And then we have the quality of life issues when it comes to the things of not having to fast travel every single time back to the White House just to switch your specialist. Things of this nature, and the list can go on and on and on. And everybody knows the issues that are, vastly beyond what I just have stated. And we realize that, but then E3 comes along, just like, Division 1, when, they want to unveil, oh, but check this out. We got this coming in. We got another raid. Yeah, we're going back to New York. We're going to go hunt down Keener. We're going to have all these extended story missions added to it. I mean, it just looks so great, and I'm flabbergasted that it looks awesome, and I can't wait. But then after it fades and I've had time to sit there and reflect, I'm like, yes, this is definitely exactly like Division 1, where it had issues that they said they would address, but then they never really get to it, and they just wanted to add and compound the situation with more and more content, which is great. I'm excited for it. But if you don't fix or find solutions for current issues and you keep adding to the problem, then by year's end and then on into next year, it's going to be the same roller coaster that we all went through, that, you know, we're day one players from Division 1. You're adding more stuff on top of current problems. That's like, in computer terms, like if you have a bad corroded terminal, or since we're talking about cars, you have a corroded battery terminal. So instead of fixing that terminal, and 9 times out of 10, you clean it, you know, you scrape off the corrosion, the rust, and then you put it back so that way it has a better connection. But it seems like the way they're doing it, they're just, you know, spray painting over it, but leaving it as it is, and just saying, you know, we're gonna get to it. But then, you know, they add stuff on top of it to kind of get you to, you know, look away from these current issues and be like, well, you know, this is what we got coming. You know, don't worry. Everything's going to be taken care of, fixed, you know, quality of life issues, game issues, AI bugs, the teleporting, the bullet registration, all of these things. Don't worry. We're going to get to it. But beforehand, here's all this other stuff we're going to pile on top of it, so that way you don't necessarily, you know, look at all these stuff that needs fixing too much longer, and you'll be focused on all this, you know, new stuff that's coming out. And then once the new stuff gets here, you know, it's even more compounded issues than, you know, previously, and we're coming and finding more bugs, there's more exploits, and then you still haven't fixed the prior ones, and then it's more or less a snowball effect. It's just like Division 1. And I want to give the dev teams and the developers, you know, all the benefits of the doubt, but they haven't learned anything from Division 1. They're making the same mistakes over and over and over, and they promised us they wouldn't do that. They said they learned from it. Just like, you know, they said that the bullet registration was limited to just the firing range. Well, that proved, you know, that was a false. That was a farce. And all this other stuff, you know, it's one thing after another. They crack a smile, we're going to get to it, and then they reveal all this other shiny stuff to kind of help us forget, you know, and overlook things, and so that way we're not, you know, into all the issues needing to be fixed, and we're focused on all the new content and stuff that we're getting. And it's basically they're treating us like a kid at Christmas morning, you know. We run in there, we see all our beautiful gifts and our presents, and then we realize, you know, well, wait a minute, you know, we still are sleeping in a crappy bed with, you know, springs poking us in the back where we can't hardly sleep at night, but yet, you know, we got new stuff to play with. So all is good, all is fine, but then where you're going to sleep at night, you're still going to have those same problems until that gets fixed. So you would think, and to think that you would rather have a new mattress, you know, and have a great night's sleep versus, you know, some shiny playthings. And enough with the analogies, you kind of get what I'm saying. I'm not going to drag it out anymore. But for those of you that are playing played the past PTS, the future PTSs, all these things, be sure to not just report it on, you know, Reddit, but actually on the website itself. Tweet it out to Twitter, tag everybody as possible, so that way they can't say that, you know, they didn't know about certain issues or you know, this and that, and come up with excuses, so that way they know first and forehand. Because a lot of people, they play the PTS and they just want to play the new stuff, but not necessarily report on the bugs and stuff they encounter, or they're not even trying to find bugs. So I mean, there's lots of things that, you know, correlate with the kind of the mess we're in. Is it quite as messy as it was? Well, if you remember in Division 1, it wasn't really that bad at first. Yes, it had its issues, you know, with UI, AI, and then of course exploits, bugs, and then balancing. But then, you know, it wasn't really that bad. But then they added stuff onto it. They started changing things, and then, you know, they would do too much, and, you know, they'd fix 2 things, and then next thing you know, they broke, you know, 4 other things while they fixed the first 2. And I just don't want to keep going in the same situation. I'm going to remain that the cup is half full, because this update, you know, is coming supposedly next week and soon. So I'm going to hold further judgment till then. But guys and gals, I'm getting to the point to where, you know, being positive, optimistic, and, you know, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to bring you guys content, as well as play the game that I love doing. But, you know, at some point, enough's enough. You know, we got to stand our ground, stand firm, not just, you know, shower them and drown them with complaints and criticism, but, you know, also look at it and make sure, hey, we want this stuff fixed. You know, we'd rather have this stuff fixed than you just keep throwing stuff on top of the shit and just making it worse. And then it's going to be eventually a couple years from now, oh, well, we can't do anything. We can't fix this game anymore. We've done all we can do. So we're just going to start making Division 3, because we've learned from our mistakes from 1 and 2, the same thing that they said about, you know, when they coming out with 2 about 1, but we've learned from the 1 and 2, and this one's going to be 10 times better, you know, than 1 and 2. So don't worry, you know, in 4 years from now, Division 3 is coming out. So let's not try to get into that same boat, but try to be positive. Bring them to the devs, you know, anything that you encounter. And, you know, if they don't reply back or respond, continuously do it, you know, until someone gets back to you and is like, oh, thanks for pointing that out. We'll, you know, look into it. You know, there's Spire, there's Garrity, there's Stylander, there's Division 2. You know, anybody that you know of on Twitter, Reddit, any kind of social media, reach out to them and express your concern, but be respectful in a manner that in which they will listen. Don't just attack, you know, call names and they throw up their walls, and they definitely are not going to listen to you. So be respectful, but get your point across. So that's my one and only rant video for this year. Thank you guys so much. And like I said, that's just a little facts, and then going into just a little bit of how I feel, but mostly sticking toward the facts. Well, thank you guys. Love you so much. We'll see you later.